But my classes are over. I'm a certified NLP master practitioner and I'm back with NLG. That's great. So welcome everybody on the 32nd webinar, which is Communication and Art or Science. We have a great speaker with us today and I'll be introducing him shortly. Please stay tuned. And I would request all of you to please share this webinar link with everyone, with your friends and family, so they can join and have a great takeaway from this session with our great speaker. Thank you for registering in. As I said, again, welcoming you all, sparing your time, your weekend with us at this hour of the time. What is NLG? As I call it, it's Networking and Learning Group. It has been founded by myself and Jason Abraham. Jason is an internal auditor and content creator. Nowadays, he's with so much content, so many videos, so many interviews. It's so great to see him engaging at various platforms with so many people around, networking with so many great speakers, so many great authors, coaches. It's across the industry and across the various professions. That's great. Thank you, Jason, for doing what you're doing. Okay, I'm an HR generalist. My name is Sushma Priju. We started this group with an intention to help people to learn, network, and share with each other. And you can also be here sharing your expertise, your learnings with all of us. Please let us know if you want to do so. Please stay in touch and we'll be soon hosting you with this platform. We have our pillars, who is Takiuddin Theparambil. He's a QHSE professional. He's MBA in HR and MSc in biotechnology. We have another gentleman who is Anil Kunaku. He's HR professional, MBA and MHRM, coach and mentor. They are working with us for whatever you see here around. Thank you for what you are doing, Taki and Anil. So as discussed, Networking and Learning Group was started a year before. And the main aim is network, learn, share knowledge. It was a great thought with which we started, me and Jason, we started the group. And we were holding the seminars or webinars in person before. Since this unprecedented times have hit us, it is all online now, and it is through Zoom, which is a great sharing again, because everyone across the globe can join us, be it whichever corner of the world. You can connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or through WhatsApp. Please join our groups. We will be sharing the links in the chat box as well, so you can definitely connect with us. And please invite your family and friends to attend the webinars. Few rules to follow. Always mute your mic. You may use chat box for your questions, for your comments, or reaction buttons. The speaker will be giving the session and we'll have Q&A at the end. So please be ready with your questions, which will be addressed later. And I'm sure Mr. Ramnath has so much to share with us that I'm ready with my notebook, to take down the notes here. So please be ready and have a great takeaway. Who is today's speaker? Today's speaker is Mr. Ramnath Venkataraman. He is a learning and development expert, a project management expert as well. He has a great career history with so much of experience along the line. Experience in various fields like customer service, succession planning, employee engagement, performance appraisal. These are few points which I have highlighted here. Please stay connected with him. You can connect with him through LinkedIn as well. So here I present our today's speaker, Mr. Ramnath Venkataraman. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Suja, right?
Sushma.
Shilpa, yeah. And really, what should I say, heartened by this introduction. And I'm really privileged to be in this August company in this month of December and looking forward to the festive season. And all of us have been so resilient and tenacious, and we have come across overcome this pandemic in our own ways. We have reconciled with what life has given to us. We've learned a lot of lessons from it. We've decided to plan out our lives in a way which is most conducive to our well-being and the well-being of the environment and our society. And I must really thank Anil for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Communication is a very big subject indeed, and it's impossible to do justice to this over a webinar. However, this is just the beginning of good things, and this group, with the kind of talent that I see here, we are really bound to flourish. So on that note, I would just like to show the first slide. Could you share the screen? Yeah. And I would request all of you to participate using the chat also. Yeah. All right. So I was just thinking what could be a nice way of, intriguing myself and triggering my imagination. And this thought came to me: communication, is it an art or science? And do have a look at this visual. How does it look? What do you get? What are the kind of feelings you get when you see this particular visual? Somebody in the chat. And why do you think it is related to this particular topic? Great. Transmitting, connecting the dots. Yes, the integrated circuit, the science and the chip, right? So you got the science right and you got the networking. Where is there an art here? Do you see the beauty of an art? Yes, great. Thank you very much. Let's move on to, so that's the whole idea. Is it science or an art? And let's move on to our next one, is the icebreaker. All of you, is it possible that all of you would be able to have an A4 size paper with you? Do you think you could have an A4 size of paper with you? It's a bit of an icebreaker. Shall I go ahead and do it? I just need a couple of yeses on the chat. A4. I got a yes. Great. Another couple more. Just all of you, just take an A4 size of paper. And I'm going to give you some instructions. Yeah, good to go. We will play a quick game to perhaps understand communication. I'm going to give you a series of instructions, and all of you have to do it at the same time. All of you hold your paper, close your eyes. First, fold your sheet of paper in half while your eyes are closed. Tear off the upper left hand corner. Tear off what I said, the upper left hand corner. Next, fold it in half once more and tear off the upper right hand corner of the sheet. Repeating, fold it in half once more and tear off the upper right-hand corner of the sheet. Fold it in half again and tear off the lower left-hand corner of the sheet of paper. Repeating, fold it in half again and tear off the lower left-hand corner of the sheet of paper. Now, I would like to see all your, now you can open your eyes and show your paper. If you could come on the video and let's have a quick look. How's it looking? Then we can see. One more. Okay. Wow, who's Galaxy S10? And where is Taqiyuddin? Jason? Wow. Okay, great. The others? Amir, I can't see you. Suja? Others, please show what you've got. I must say something, Sushma. Show your piece of paper. So look at, I see Michael's and Jason's are very different. But who's this Galaxy S10 with the brown paper? I think I see some similarity between theirs. But the same thing is, you know, the irony is that I give instructions to all. Why is the output different? So communication is definitely a science and an art. And interestingly, I must thank Sushma for bringing out this visual about icebreaker also. Do you know how the word icebreaker has come? Because when the rivers used to get really, snowed, and the keel of the ship used to break through it. So you break through the ice, and that's how it became an icebreaker. So that the journey could continue. So we continue with that journey. Next, we would like to do a small survey. Jason, would you be able to help us? Yes. So what we require is, we want you to use this link, HTTPS, whatever, it's there in the chat. And please do the survey. You'll have to click on that, and the code is 5289558. We want you to let us know what you feel is communication. Have most of you been able to get the link? Wow, that's very, very encouraging. Very encouraging. So the majority is with me. It is definitely an art and a science. And I really thank you for your participation. So here we go to the next one. The next slide.
Can you see my screen?
I can't see.
Yeah, that's what, when I'm asked sharing, just a second.
Is it showing? Yeah, now. Next. Yeah, correct. So it's an art and a science. And the next, how do we progress on this? I'd like to ask you, next slide, please. So here, yeah. So this is one wonderful quotation that I got. Absolutely, we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. So this is one big barrier in communication. Because when somebody is going, either giving an instructions or speaking, our mind is doing all the chattering, and that creates all the impediments. Next. Okay, so here's another bit of a quiz. So define an adjective, put it on the chat. Yeah, it's okay, Takiuddin, no worries. So an adjective, anyone can answer. It's okay if one of you would like to answer. Yeah, describes a noun. Wonderful. Great. So if you are going to use an adjective, I want you to give an answer to how am I feeling today? So answer that. Answer that question on the chat box. How am I feeling today? Good, excellent, great, awesome, doing great. That describes a noun. Very good. Jashan, very good. Great. Can I get some more words? Fantastic. All right. See, fantabulous. Positive. Great. Now, not COVID. Very nice, good sense of humor. So then, the whole idea is forming a sentence from one or more words is what? Is applied science. But the next one, forming a sentence that affects the senses or emotions is art. Have you got what I'm trying to say? Basically, forming a sentence, it's scientific. But with that sense of emotion, when you said great, when you said fantastic, when you said positive, it created a different environment altogether, isn't it? So it went beyond the words. So that is the beauty of communication being a science and an art. And for some people who would be interested in a little more of semantics and definitions, oh, very good, Sushma. Next. Next slide. See here, we've got the definition of science and the definition of semantics. The semantics is the study of or science of meaning in language is semantics. But science, as all of us know, is a very systematic study of humans, the environment, based on inference, logic, and then it becomes a law which can be always reproduced by observations, measurements, and events. So this is science. And next. And science or art, so sorry, yeah, the next one. I lost that here. Great. Words that describe or modify another person or thing in the sentence. And this is science. The sentence may encompass a diverse range of activities, creations, and expressions. However, it may not affect similar emotions every time, which makes it irreproducible. So, and what happens to arts now? What happens to art? Next. Oh, here is another one before you think about art. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. So hearing your words is science, feeling your attitude is art. John Maxwell. Next. Now, that is art. Art encompasses a diverse range of human activities, creations, modes of expression, the process or product of deliberately arranging elements in a way to affect the senses or emotions. So moments, the senses, emotions, feelings come in, you know that our communication has the blend of art in it. Otherwise, the message would be conveyed, but the affecting the senses requires art. So this is a bit of theory that I wanted to share with you. Next. In Enid Blyton, we have read about the famous 5, but here's the famous 4 of communication: verbal, non-verbal, written, and visual. And all of us, every day, in every environment, we are subject to one or more of these. Yeah. Next. Okay, so verbal. Now let me ask, don't we need a strong, confident speaking voice? Is this part of my, is it science or is it an art? I want one couple of answers here. Someone says science. That means, yes, you can definitely. Oh, there's Sushma, you say art. Oh, science. Michael, why did you say science? Would you like to speak?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I think there have been a lot of scientific studies which substantiate this point that uh, voice actually creates emotions. So
Yeah.
the tone of your voice, the way you speak, you know, the listener will actually feel those emotions depending on the tone of your voice. So that's why.
Yeah, correct. So a strong, confident speaking voice can be, we can learn it, isn't it? So that's possible for us as a scientifically it can be acquired. What about avoiding filler words? What are the kind of filler words we use? Like, so, yeah, you know, I mean. So these also can be avoided, and true, it's a scientific way of learning how to avoid filler words. What about active listening? When do we use active listening? When we are in presentations, when you are with one-on-one, you've got to listen actively. And what do you mean by active listening? So let's take some examples next. It is very important for communication. Next. Okay. So here, before I get into this, I wanted to do a small exercise about tone. Can you see why in all on top, you can see I did not tell John you were late. But what am I trying to tell here? I did not tell John you were late. Means somebody else told John you were late. I did not tell John you were late. I did not tell John you were late. This did not happen. Okay. I did not tell John you were late. Means I might have implied it. I did not tell John you were late. Maybe I told Sharon and Jose. I did not tell John you were late. I was talking about someone else. I did not tell John you were late. I told him you still are late. The tone of statement is changing the implications, really, Jason, isn't it? One word and you go, yeah. And I did not tell John you were late. I told him you were attending another meeting. So changing your tone can dramatically change your meaning. You could try this out in your life. So, I am going to Abu Dhabi tomorrow. I'm going to Abu Dhabi tomorrow, not day after. I am going to Abu Dhabi tomorrow, not somebody else. I'm going to Abu Dhabi tomorrow, not coming from there. So try to use tone, emphasis, and you'll see a remarkable change in your communication, because that is an art. So the tone can become your art to express the feelings, because you emphasize, or you're assertive, or you're aggressive, or you're sympathetic, or whatever it is. Next. This is a wonderful one which I like, where people should talk more. Imagine where it all started from. The customer explained that first picture. The poor project leader understood it like this, the way we did our paper A4. The analyst designed it. The programmer also took it in his own way, wrote it. The programmer actually wrote the program. Then the business consultant described it. Look at the business consultant with the sofa. The project, people documented it. Operations installed it. Customer was billed. How it was supported, and what the customer really needed was this. So the customer really all the customer needed was a simple tree with a tire. And finally, what was given to him was. So communication is never enough. We have to talk more. We have to ask more. We have to listen more. We have to paraphrase more. So let's see. There in non-verbal, body language, gestures, facial expressions, very important. You know that, right? That the Mehrabian model of 55, 38, and 7. So they say for that 7% is words, 38% is your tone, and 55% is your body language. It's definitely, to a great extent, is applicable. It is difficult on an online to try and express all that, but yes, it is also applicable in online. And the second one I wanted to point out is it's important how we feel our emotions physically. So I'll give you an example. Is that if I'm feeling anxious, you feel that your stomach is hurting, isn't it? So you know that your body will react to your emotions. So it's important that we are conscious of our emotions. And intentional about non-verbal communications means that I have to positively make an effort to express my non-verbal communication. So my body language has to mirror my feelings. And mimicking non-verbal communication is very important. Depending on the other person, you try. So if he's giving a nod, you find that he nods, it is good for you to mimic that. I had this experience when I went first to Australia, being a South Indian, typical yes and no could be like this. So first time when I was posted in Australia, they said, Ramnath, are you going to be doing this? So I said, yes. And for something else, they said, would it be possible to do that? I said, no, or something like, they said, Ramnath, it's yes and a no. So, whole idea is trying to mimic what the culture represents. Very important for non-verbal. All of us can work on this. Thank you. Next. Now, here what I've done is I've given you some very good examples for each of them. So for paraphrasing, asking open-ended questions. See, these are all very important in your verbal communication. So paraphrasing is, suppose somebody tells you, you don't repeat the same thing. So you say, so what you are saying is, see the words, so what you are saying is a technique of paraphrasing. Your current content management system no longer meets your team's technical needs because it doesn't support large video files. So what you're saying this, so when you say this, the customer or the other person will be able to clarify it for you. You are not saying that this is what I understood. It's a very good technique for getting your outcome. Open-ended questions, two types of questions, closed-ended and open-ended. Closed-ended is you get a decision, right or wrong, yes or no, true or false. But open-ended is, they say, no, the wives and the one husband, what, where, when, which, or why, and how. So you're right, the onboarding procedure could come, use some updating. What changes would you want to make to the process over the next 6 months? So which is the open-ended here? What changes would you want? The person has to respond to you. And probing questions, tell me more. Tell me more is a wonderful word that you people can use. Tell me more about your current workload. Which of these projects is the most time consuming? And short verbal affirmations is very important. I understand, I see, yes, that makes sense, I agree. Please start using this because you get more confident. So for paraphrasing, so what are you saying? Open-ended, you say what changes, where, etc. And specific probing is tell me more. And of course, I understand. Next. And very, very important to show empathy, share similar experiences, recall previous experiences. Very good. Thank you, Sunita. Because, these are the examples that we need so that we can pick up these techniques. And the more we use them, more comfortable we get. Otherwise, we keep using the same what should I say, mundane, hackneyed phrases all the time. So these slides I'll be sharing, please feel free to use them. Today I'm just giving you a bird's eye view. So empathy, how do you show empathy? Is I understand how you feel. So I'm so sorry you're dealing with this problem. Let's figure out some ways I can help. Not sympathy. Sympathy, you also cry. Empathy, you try to lift the person. And sharing similar experiences for adults is very critical in communication. Even I had a tough time getting started with this program. Like Shukla ji was telling, no, that he understood. I could feel that sharing the similar experience about waiting to get a job and then getting one. So that feeling, that connectedness comes when you start sharing similar experiences. After a few weeks, I felt completely comfortable. So both people and a group starts feeling the sense of togetherness. And previously shared information, when you start recalling. Last week, you mentioned adding a more senior coordinator to help with this account. I think that's a great idea. So when you recall a past and bring it into the present, then the future gets activated automatically. So this is definitely, so here, can you answer me? Displaying empathy, sharing similar experiences and recalling. Is it science or, yes, very good, Aiden. Is it science or an art? This slide. Do you see more of art here or do you see more of science here? Yes, Michael, there's much more of art because there's a lot of the heart involved here. Correct? Much of the heart is involved. Very good. Very good, Jashan. Feelings. Yes, yes, Eden. Very good. Next. Wow. And non-verbal. That means you're not able to speak, but your active listening skills. What can you do? Nod, smile, and no distracted movements. No, you can't just do what you want. And eye contact is very important. And this is something, we find a big challenge when it comes to online and webinars. The classroom atmosphere is something where you could really do that. And don't, yes, Michael, not looking at the mobile. Imagine how frustrating it is. Even now I have a sheet of paper here. Even if I were to look at it, it would be distracting for you. There's no denying that. And for eye contact, they say the lighthouse effect. From one side it scans. So it's a very beautiful way of doing it. And for public speakers, what we say is just look at to the end of the hall so that everyone feels you're looking at them, and then just keep changing your head here. So you don't get nervous, but at the same time they get a sense that you are looking at them. But yeah, with practice and exposure, eye contact becomes very normal. Next. Yeah, correct, Michael. There is light at the end of the hall. Yeah. Okay, so here I've just given some things that all of us can see. I've tried to give you some practical things which you can, apply. So that was the intention. Regular eye contact, we have to practice. Positive vocal tone. It's so easy to get into depression or being, negative, pessimistic. Just go ahead and do it. It's the mind, as you say. Strong presentation and appearance. And that means you've got to look good as well. So it's very important that we put in our best, dress, our best, you feel good, you look good, you feel good. Upright posture. Upright posture brings confidence because there's a connection between the mind, the body and the mind. Yes, Jashan, when you show good eye contact, it shows the other person that you are listening and talking to them. Otherwise, there are times when somebody's talking and you're not even looking there. And facial expressions are very important. Your voice can be very good, but unless your face shows happiness, sadness, the communication is not 100%. And unfortunately, earlier we could do a pat on the back as a touch or clap for somebody, do this. It's not possible online, but whenever it's possible with all the hygiene, just go ahead and do it. And of course, space. You don't get too intimate, not too far. And if you want to show interest, you have to come forward. Hand gestures, Very important. Yes, no yawning. If you yawn, if you have to yawn, you'll have to do it very discreetly. And body movement, of course, is important. So these are things that in workplace we can definitely follow. And what happens is with practice, it becomes natural for you. It becomes your personality for good communication. You know, some people, they just speak, but it doesn't connect. It's not from the heart. Next. There, giving you, have a look at it. Yes. See, each one of them, their legs, the way they have positioned themselves, the hands in the pocket, somebody's folding the hands, someone's confident, okay? Somebody's impatient. So more you observe people, you learn to read and influence people through non-verbal communication. But again, from my experience, I would say these are very good to know as a science, but as an art, you have to use your gut feel. You have to understand the person. So it might happen that the person has a posture like this, but he might be genuine. So never generalize, but these are some indicators. So that is one caution that I would like to tell you. It is a subtle art. Definitely it's a subtle art. But yes, it does indicate a kind of reaction to what, how people are reacting to you. Next. Yeah. So now we've touched upon verbal, we've touched upon non-verbal, and a lot of us have to do a lot of written stuff. So what the whole thing about writing is, let's make it simple. So let's avoid jargon. If we are going to put some jargon words, it's better we once write it down, or even abbreviations. It is important. I'm coming from a banking background, and so a lot of people use so much of jargon. Somebody went and told a customer, your file is with the ICU. He wanted to say some internal control unit. And this gentleman asked me, Ramnath, what does my application go to the hospital? So, you know, the whole idea is about simplicity. Huh? Use simple words. Huh? LOL. Very true. You won't believe, Jason, first time when I thought LOL, I thought lots of love. Then somebody said, no, Ramnath, it's laughing out loud. See, the other thing about writing is, in speaking, our tone can tell how we are, right? What we want to express. In written, it's very difficult to make out the tone. So we have to be very careful about how we write it and what we write. Nowadays, in some informal writing, they allow emoticons. But for professional writing, business writing, you should always put yourself in the eyes of the reader and write your email, correspondence, and whatever it is. And always please review what you have written. There could be spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, punctuation mistakes. They could be whatever it is. So it's better to just ask somebody else to read it. I always find it good to show it to someone else, because then they find the mistakes easily. And keeping a file of writing, you find effective or enjoyable. Suppose you found a good quotation, you found some good thing. Keep a nice repository of these, and it will come in handy for you. Next. See, good writing requires so many. There are some 7 C's and all, but I have just brought a few things here. Clarity, conciseness, tone in writing also, and active voice. So first, clarity. See, what we do is, look at this example. We are implementing a new late policy to ensure that all employees can confidently rely on our agreed upon schedule. See the details of the new policy below. If you have any questions, you may direct them to the head of human resources. Isn't it clear? So what is happening? We know a new late policy is being implemented. Okay, then the details are given. Any questions, you know whom to go to. This is clarity, but in communication, a lot of clarity is missing, leading to confusion and loss of productivity and tension and conflict. And conciseness means how do you make it brief and succinct. So simple. After reviewing the articles you've written for us, I've concluded that you are one of the most talented writers on our team. This sentence could be, we went through several articles that came to us. We were looking at several criteria for that. And we got many people qualified for this. Some of them did that, this, and we found that you were the best. Oh God, that is not concise. And tone in writing. Thank you for sending this over. I highlighted a few inaccuracies found in this report and attached the latest numbers from our accounting department. Please get the revised report back to me by Friday afternoon. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Sorry, the A is missing there. So, writing, you have to literally hear what you're going to be writing. Yeah, and Jason, writing is a rejection email to a candidate is so important. The candidate should not feel discouraged because you never know. Next time he might have upskilled himself or become worthy of getting into your company. And once a bad exit rejection mail, and it shows the quality of your company. So we thank you for your interest shown. Currently, we do not seem to have an opening which meets your capabilities. However, we'll keep your application in a file, and later on in future, if there is a suitable opening, we'll come to you. So the person feels valued. So the tone in writing can also be is very important. And active voice and passive voice. The same sentence. All department heads have reviewed the proposal. Simple, straight. Active voice. The proposal has been reviewed by all department heads. Doesn't touch you so much. So try for active voice wherever possible. Next. Did you get the joke here? Who got it? What has happened? I want someone to speak up. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there is.
Who is it? Yeah, Shailin. बिल्कुल सही पकड़े हैं आप. Who's speaking? Go ahead.
Takuddin, go ahead. Takuddin.
Something forgot on after surgery somewhere inside the stomach or something.
No. See, it's like our race. No, ready, steady, go, and then go.
Okay.
So all of them had said, we'll say 1, 2, 3. They will lift. So they did not. Obviously, there has been a confusion. So look at the fellows, the body has fallen down. So at 3, on 3, when we say 3, moment we say, so all this should have been planned in communication, especially for something as complex as this. So this art tells you the science of communication, isn't it? Next. Grammar and punctuation. I could go on about this. Anil knows I love English grammar, and it's the ornament of the language. See, most of us are not native speakers of English, so we do struggle, but we should put in an effort to overcome that and learn. So look at the first line, the first sentence without a punctuation. The initial guide identifies the scope and framework of the project, breaks it down into milestones, and provides criteria for tracking progress and measuring outcomes. The next one, the initial guide identifies the scope and framework of the project, breaks it down into milestones, and provides criteria for tracking progress and measuring outcomes. See, those 2 commas make a big difference. Absolutely, Jason. Absolutely. See, we should know where to use the commas, when not to have long sentences, when to make things simple. And grammar and punctuation are very important. It helps you to speak. That's how you would be speaking. And finally, so verbal, non-verbal, verbal, non-verbal, written, and visuals. I just wanted to give you a slide on that. Next. Yeah. So about visuals, it's very good to use photographs, art, drawings, sketches, wherever it's possible. It really helps during presentations. And we have different learning styles. So some people learn through auditory, so they hear and they learn. Some people need a lot of visuals to learn, and some people need the touch and feel, kinesthetic. So ideally, a good communicator uses all of them. And in the virtual world, a lot of it has to do with audio and visual. So we'll have to work on that. And when it comes to a very professional presentations, it's good to find out whether that kind of a meeting or that kind of a conference requires too many visuals, because visuals can also be very distracting. So some people don't really like it. It all depends on, you should know your target audience and whether they are the type who need it. Yes, subtitles also, very important. Yes, Sushma, I also have to leave now. Yeah. And what is the, yeah, correct. I think probably this is the last one. You're very quiet tonight. Not really. I read that 90% of our communication is inside our own head. So I've been jabbering away, but you just couldn't tell. What on earth is that supposed to mean? Oh, I'm sorry. What do you say? I can't listen to two conversations at once. So one is a conversation happening and one is happening in the head. So communication is definitely an art and a science. We can work on the fundamentals of communication as a science and understand the importance of non-verbal communication, listening, active listening, and make it a beautiful art. I'm always available. You can connect me on LinkedIn for coaching, for communication, for training, for team building, for management leadership sessions, for English speaking, writing. Please feel free to contact me anytime. I'm one of the mentors of several of the Toastmasters clubs, and I have to rush for another meeting now. So this is just a bird's eye view today of communication being an art and a science. And I really thank all of you for being such a wonderful audience. And we shall connect again. Thank you very much. I basically come from the south of India. I speak Tamil and Malayalam, but brought up in Hindi heartland, Jharkhand, Jamshedpur and Kolkata. So Hindi and Bengali Urdu is very good. I understand Punjabi, Gujarati and Marathi. And I've been here for a long time and I've traveled very well. So would love to share my experiences with all of you.
Wow.
God bless.
Great. Such an amazing session. So many languages, so much of experience. Amazing. Thank you for sharing your learnings and experience with us. Just as you said, a bird's eye. We will be waiting for your the larger impact from you, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, so each one we can flesh out. We can flesh out each of this. See, today I just wanted to give you a holistic picture of verbal, non-verbal, written, and visual. So at least verbal, non-verbal, and written, we can take it up. Business writing, so there's so much to it, right? And grammar, importance of grammar, etc. God bless. Bye.
Thank you, Jason.
So shall I leave the meeting, Sushma?
Okay. Yeah.
Is there any Q&As? Is there any question answers coming up?
What's the time? Because I just want.
Okay. If any question answers, if any Q&A is there, then we can directly have another meeting soon, or maybe.
Or you can do one thing. Any questions or whatever, write to. Just take it down. Binoy, nice to see you. And we can. I can probably take one question.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody has a question, please.
Just, I think anybody have, or I will ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Simple one. Actually, regarding the professional writers, when we are sending some mail or something, there is a formality or form. So we can't use that simple language. I think there should be a body format. So how is that one? And on the communication side, it's okay, or we need to go simple there also?
No, I understand. See, it depends from industry to industry. You will have your templates. You will have exactly what has to content, technical, words have to be used. You have to stick to that. As long as you know that the one who's going to read it also understands the same terminology. So you'll have to give your, bibliography, abbreviations, full forms, whatever. As long as you do that, it's fine. And try to make short sentences. See, it should be understandable, readable. Sometimes people use a lot of heavy language. But technical, where it has to be technical, it has to be technical. There you cannot do away. If there are certain templates, formats, you'll have to stick to them. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So I would, Eden, finally, I would use science to understand the fundamentals, but I'll use heart to connect with people. That is about communication. You have to be sincere. You have to be a genuinely good person so that your communication is effective. You are speaking, you're writing for the other person, right? Because you want them to understand and do what you expect them to. So it should come from your heart. The heart is your art, mind and logic is your science. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I hope I've done some justice to the science and art of communication.
No, definitely. Great knowing it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Bye. We'll be in touch.
Sure. Thank you very much. Jason, if you can stop recording, then if anyone has any discussion,